Hi everybody and welcome back to Facepalm Studio, and for today's episode of Make It Monday, we're starting something new. We are going to be going into Unreal. So we did a little bit of a video on this on Tuesday about being able to install and run the UE5 engine, but for this video we are going to be going over the basics of the engine, menu layout, the actual interface, and how to kind of move while you're working in the system. Now granted, I am not a professional at UE5. This is me kind of learning it as I'm teaching it, kind of a thing. So I really hope that I can kind of help you guys understand it on the basic way, and that we can hopefully learn together and maybe have some facepalm moments while going and doing so. So come join me and we will be able to explore Unreal Engine together. So starting off here, we are in the Unreal Project browser. To be able to get here, you can launch it using your Unreal Engine shortcut on your desktop, or by going to the Unreal or the Epic Games launcher on your desktop and going through there. And just a basic overview of how this runs. So Unreal uses two different kinds of code while working in the engine. Blueprint script, which is more of a node-based coding algorithm, and C++, which is a standard coding algorithm. I believe it runs through Visual Studio. And you have different options to be able to choose through here besides the blueprint and coding options, because that will determine how your game is ran. All these different versions here for film and video live events, architecture, automotive and product design, simulation, all of them have different algorithms to be able to work with in the engine. What we're going to be going through today, though, is just a regular game. We're actually going to be launching the same first-person tutorial base project that we launched last time, so that way we can kind of see how that works again. So to be able to choose your project location, you can choose down here. You can select the folder to browse. I already have mine routed to the right spot, so I'm just going to say select folder. And then you can name this. So we're going to call this Facepalm FPS. Facepalm first person shooter, or Facepalm Studio. And we're going to keep it on Blueprint because that's kind of the one that I want to learn a little bit more of. And you can also add, that little pop-up box says here, you can add blueprints to a C++ project and vice versa. So we're going to go ahead and launch this project. There is also the blank project here, and when you launch the blank project, that is going to have no coding related to it, so you get to create it how you need to. But it's good to start with the kind of like the base project here. And of course, like Facepalm Studio fashion, my camera froze at some point, and I did not notice. Don't we love it, folks? So here we are in the engine now, in the editor. And we are going to go through some of the menus that we're looking at here. And I have a little cheat sheet that I'm going to pull up, so that way we can talk about this a little bit. So there are 7 different options here, 7 different places in the editor that you're going to be seeing when you first start your game. Number 1 is going to be the menu bar, which is going to be this section up here. So we're going to start up at the top with the menu bar, which is the first section here, which has your standard file. You have your edit tools, window editing. You have different tools that you can actually go and look up things and add different stuff to your system. Building different physics engines and landscapes so that way it's full quality. Creating and selecting actors to be able to use and work with an actor in the scene, which we'll be going over. You'll see here now that I have something selected, it's going to give us a little more asset options. Next, you have the main toolbar, which is going to be this section here. And so every version of the editor has a different toolbar that has standard assets. So in this case, we have save current level. You can change the selection mode that you're working with. You can quickly add things to the project. So say, for example, if I wanted to add a cube here, we can go ahead and add a standard default cube and just drop that into the scene. We also have blueprints. You can choose to make a blueprint. You have the new level sequencing. And then you also have your play, where this is where you can actually go in to play your level, which is what we did in the last video, where we came through and we added and wow, that's loud. Jesus Christ. I don't know. I didn't know that was going to have audio. Good to know. I thought I was going to have audio last time and it did not. All right, so we can escape out of that. All right, next menu that we want to talk about here is our save button, of course. That will save the level that's currently open. That's going to be here in the top left. On the right side here, we have our outliner, which this is going to be the way to be able to select different things in our scene. So say, for example, if we wanted to select certain blocks, or if we wanted to go through and select certain sections. So you see how these are all kind of grouped together. So if I collapse this and select it, it should select the whole object. Maybe I'm wrong there. Shift select maybe? No. So you have your different actors here that you can modify and change from this. So it's like, say, for example, there I selected that whole ramp. I'm trying to learn how to navigate while I'm explaining this here. So now I can move that whole block of pieces now by having those selected. So your hierarchy is kind of like, it's kind of like your hierarchy in Unity. That's where you're going to be able to control a lot of your objects. Then you have your details plane, which is showing you information about your objects. So like saying that this is an instance cube. And then we can adjust different parameters here. So say if I wanted to lock the scale of this, we can then adjust the scale and size of these blocks, moving things up. This also lets you choose to see if it's a static mesh. You can select different features about it. So say, I don't know quite what this is going to do. See, we want to change that to a ramp. Oh yeah, see, we were able to change it to a ramp. So now we have another ramp in the scene. It's pretty neat. And then our basic material that's applied. There's a lot of information in these tabs. I don't even know a whole lot about them. The big one though, that we have here is this content drawer down at the bottom. Now this is where it's going to be routing to your whole project file. So you can save all your assets and import things from here. So say for example, we can go into this folder here and we can see our different maps. If we wanted to go into the weapon folder, we can go look at the weapons mesh. That's what we have here. You can look at different textures for the weapons. The materials, which do work slightly different. You can see that this has a lot of different materials in here. And that also brings up a good point that this is how you can also view the other editor. So say if I wanted to open one of these materials, this is going to open up what would be the shader or the node editor for materials. So you can kind of see here that we're looking at the material graph now for this. Let's see if I remember how to navigate this menu. Right click. So now you can see here we have our own little 3D cube that's representing this material. And you have a whole nother main toolbar with different options here for that. And there's a few different views that you can see in this. Let me actually see if I can pull that up really fast while I'm thinking about it. Oh, my camera froze again. Gosh. What do you know? We're just going to facepalm it. So we're going to go ahead here and we're going to talk a little bit more about this. So we have our main view here. We were talking about the different views. So the different editors you have available to you are like the gameplay levels. You have the static mesh editors, material editors, the blueprint editor, which is kind of like the view that we had just looked at. I'll go ahead and save an image here for that, so that way we can look at that together. We also have the physics asset editor, behavior tree editor, Niagara editor, which is for particle effects, UMG UI editor, a font editor, and a sequence editor, which is kind of like a video editing tool that's used within Unreal. So we'll go over a little bit of basic navigation here. So we'll keep this a little short here for this video, so that way I can troubleshoot my camera and figure out why that wasn't working. So next we can talk about like moving in your scene. So the way I'm doing my basic navigation, the panning in the scene right now is using the middle mouse button. And you'll see here that I'm kind of panning left, right, up, and down. You also can move with your arrow keys. Now this is like the actual arrow keys, not WSAD. You can move with those to be able to zoom forward in the scene and zoom out, which works pretty well. If you hold shift, let's see here. If you hold shift and left click, I guess it's just left click. If you left click, you can turn left and right. So if you're going through your scene, you wanted to move very quickly, you can use left click and move as well. It's a little finicky, but it works. Right click pans up and down. So kind of same thing. If you wanted to really, you can hold right click and then move, which works very well. This is easy for you to be able to fly through the scene to be able to take a look at things. Trying to think here. Zooming in and out, pretty straightforward, middle mouse wheel. And I think that's the basics for these controls here. And zooming in and out, you can just use the mouse wheel to do the same thing as like what the arrow keys were doing. It's just a little bit more fluid when you hold the arrow key kind of quick. But it depends on how you want to fly. And there is also camera speed movement here as well. So you can actually scale this up. So say if we wanted to be able to move the camera a little bit faster, ooh, that's quite a bit faster. That also will increase that speed by doing that as well. It does not affect the scroll wheel, but it will affect when you actually do the physical camera. So we'll go ahead and turn that back down to 4. Inside here, we also have some scaling options for what units we want to scale by. So say when we're in here and you press R, that adds it into scaling mode, and then that will increase or decrease it by that increment. We have the grid snap value, so everything here also snaps to the grid. So you'll see here that it's snapping at an increment of 10. And actually, I believe that the snapping is turned off at the moment. Enables it just. Whoa, that's kind of cool. So I'm holding shift and that's moving everything with me instead of just the object. I actually didn't know that was a feature. That is pretty cool. And I'm assuming it goes down too. That's actually kind of nice. See, we're learning together, folks. So I just zoomed over here, and now I'll say if I want to precisely set this down. Keep on wanting to use WSAD. I wonder if there's a way to map that. And we'll go ahead and just drop this down here. Oh yeah, now when you're up close like this, you can kind of see the snapping. You can see that it's kind of snapping by 10 units. You can tell. Or that's just my refresh rate. But there you have it. Those are the basic controls and the basic kind of layout for Unreal Engine. So next time, guys, I'm going to try to see if I can get my camera working really quick for my outro here. Haha, we're back. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video. Next time, we are going to be investigating about how to build a scene and how to kind of start fleshing things out. We'll also probably touch briefly on the blueprint system. I don't have a lot of knowledge about how that works, so I'm really interested to try to learning that with you guys. And I'm going to be going through some of the Unreal learning tutorials to try to learn how to use this engine properly. So I'm going to try to be walking through some of those with you guys as well while we're going through this. So if you guys have any questions or anything in the comments below that you want to see, make sure you go down to the comments to add that when you go to subscribe to Facepalm Studio. And we also are on Facebook and Twitter, so make sure you go and follow us there. You like that? We just made that. It's a lot of fun. Make sure you check out that video as well. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. And until next time, guys, keep creating, save the pain from those facepalm moments, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.